Hello, beautiful creative soul, and welcome to the very first episode of Chakra-Care for the creative soul. Hello, my name is Pollyanna Blanco, and I'm so happy to be here with you. And today on this brand new show that Spirit has, guided me to create for you, I'm here to help you care as much for yourself as you care for the world by nourishing yourself along the way. Because I know from my own journey along the way of following the inner breadcrumbs over 20 years of being on this inner awakening and inner emergence journey, how easy it can be along the way to, fall down rabbit holes and to get back into the mosh pit of life. And so every Sunday, I'm here to offer you a little bit of sacred soul balm so that you can start off your week feeling calmer and more creative. I know how quickly time can feel like it's speeding by. And so when Sunday rolls around, this is an opportunity for you just to receive a little bit of inspiration and tune in and tap into your creative inner riches so that you can shine throughout the week. So today I'm going to be speaking to the topic of noticing what we're noticing. And I apologize if my throat is sounding a little raspy still. I'm getting over, actually, believe it or not, laryngitis. So I've been applying this in my own life, noticing what I'm noticing. And then I'm going to offer you an invitation to participate in an applied sacred self-care practice of noticing what you're noticing, a little inner meditative experience that my intention is will offer you some soul sustenance and help you to get off to a wonderful, wonderful start for your week. So right now, I'm going to invite you to place your hands on your heart, if it's safe to do so. And I'm going to just invite all of you to take 3 deep Ave Saw breaths in and out. If you're not familiar with this teaching from Chakra-Care, I just love it. And I love to return to it whenever I feel called to. And I think this is a great way for us to begin our sacred self-care show. We're going to breathe in on the inhalation Ave, which is hail to the divine, opening to the divine, and then pausing. Then on the exhalation, we're going to say Sa, allowing a beautiful smile to form on our face. And that is going to be I surrender and trust the divine. So on the inhalation, breathing together, Ave, Sa. And again, Ave, Sa. And again, Ave, Sa. Thank you, beloved teachers, Sri Ramka and Master Lady Kira, for this wonderful practice through the archangelic realm. And what a wonderful way to begin, because when we take that moment to place our hands on our heart and just notice what we're noticing, to feel the warmth of our hands on our heart and the warmth of our heart on our hands, and connect and reassure our body that we are here now, we are fully present with ourselves. It's not really any different than if we were speaking to a child or to someone we loved outside of us. There's no greater gift than the gift of presence. To really listen with every pore of our being is such a beautiful honoring of both perceived self and other. And so when we're noticing what we're noticing in the world right now, my goodness, there is so much emotional Velcro. There's so much that can seek to pull us into all kinds of rich experiences emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And it's all for learning and it's all good. It's just sometimes learning to navigate all of these plot twists and new ones can start to feel a little overwhelming. And this is why the sacred self-care piece is so incredibly important. And at least I've been learning that along my way, because that is something that has made all the difference for me, is to learn to really show up for myself, hand on heart, breathing, connecting as one within myself. So when we are noticing what we're noticing, for example, out there in the world, and we feel an emotional, perhaps trigger or response, well, it's often a trigger, but it could be a response. And ideally, the sort of juiciness of these sacred self-care practices, and what I'm here to share with you today and support you with, if you've been noticing things, especially lately, that have been maybe perhaps triggering certain emotions or thoughts in you or reactions, is how to offer yourself the opportunity in noticing this stuff to begin to shift into a response. And the response, between the reaction and the response, is an invitation to calm down, to return to a neutral set point where we expand rather than limit the possibilities that are in front of us in this now moment. And so, one of the beautiful experiences that can happen when we're noticing what we're noticing is we're also being presented with a really rich opportunity. I've been finding this so much in my life. And so many of you are too. I know this might just be a gentle reminder for some of you. This might be all completely brand new for others. It's all good. Is that when we're noticing something that triggers, an intense thought or emotion, a fear, a doubt, or hesitation, it is a sacred invitation to begin to be curious and open as to what in me invited this to be, which is another teaching from my beloved teachers, Sri Ramka and Master Lady Kira. I'm going to be referencing them a lot on this show. And one of the sort of tripping up points along the way, or pitfalls along the way, that I've noticed in my own journey as a recovering inner perfectionist is that when there's still layers that underneath the radar screen that we're not fully aware of operating behind the scenes, then it can be easy to perceive that what in me invited this to be is going to become a blame game. What did I do wrong? Is someone else going to think I did something wrong? And we project that onto other people. And this is why sometimes, in my humble opinion, I believe we sometimes avoid looking at what in me invited this to be, because there is sometimes a connection between that practice and a perception of some sort of life script running, like we're not good enough, there's something wrong with me, and I deserve to be punished. And OMG, nothing could be further from the truth. If anything, what in me invited me to, what in me, let me try that again, what in me invited this to be is a sacred invitation to love ourselves more in this moment with compassion and free from judgment. We don't judge a little child who's learning to walk when they stumble and fall along the way. It's a natural part of the process of moving from crawling to walking. So as we are learning to metaphorically shift from crawling to walking to flying, there will be hiccups and new ones along the way. I remember I've been a dancer my whole life, ever since the first twirls in my mother's womb, and I believe I shared that in the bio below, that I have experienced all kinds of new ones. And in fact, that term new ones, I want to give credit to the teacher that I worked with for 13 years. I studied and performed with him, and Juan Alberto. And he was a wonderful creative soul himself who encouraged me to look at those so-called mistakes as new ones. And now, through the lens of what in me invited this to be, I've expanded a whole new awareness of new one by reframing it as a new one. And you can do this both on the dance floor and off the dance floor. Is what in me invited this to be. If that's a new one, this is a new, fresh opportunity to choose again. Because what really bridges the gap between the, perception that, we are doing something wrong and we're and limiting ourselves through that narrow judgment to expanding into a sense of new possibilities is our choice. So what are we choosing to focus on? So everything comes full circle again. I started off with this idea of noticing what you're noticing, and our choice about where we put our attention couldn't be more important right now. And I feel really, really passionate about sharing this more than ever. And this summer, I had a big aha moment around this topic, and hence the inspiration for this sharing in this show. Because in the coming years, now more than ever, restoring a connection to yourself as a creative person. This goes beyond whether you think you can paint or draw. This is a remembrance on a deeper soul and spirit level through the eyes of your expanded awareness that you are a conscious creator, that you are a divine conscious co-creator, because everything's interconnected. I'll speak more to that in another show. For now, what I just want to share is that the reason I feel this is so incredibly important, and I feel guided, I'm speaking inspired guidance right now in this now moment with you in this inaugural show, is because there's so much shifting. I don't need to tell you that in our modern lives in these times. And with so much happening so quickly and so much coming at us, sacred self-care has never been more important, because we really want to become more aware of what we're noticing rather than numbing ourselves out and covering our eyes and saying, if I can't see it, it's not there. It's noticing in ourselves what is expressing through our now experience so that we can then begin to use it like clay on a potter's wheel and begin to shape it in accordance and in alignment with our deepest truths, rather than letting it shape us and surrendering, and not surrendering, I'm going to change that there, giving our power away to it to make decisions for us, to create more limiting beliefs that there are things outside of us that can do things far better than we can. And so when we're in that moment of overwhelm, where life is moving quickly, and maybe we're falling back down into the mosh pit a little bit, and those frequencies are tugging at our pant leg and keeping us feeling stressed out and struggling and separate from the source of our divine creativity, it can be so easy to give it all away to something outside of us that promises to give us maybe what our ego wants at great cost to our soul. And so as we begin to show up for ourselves and nourish ourselves and really feel the inner riches that are an abundance that's inside of us in every given moment that's available for us to claim right here and right now, then we begin to nourish a partnership, a sacred partnership within ourselves. And this partnership is mind, body, spirit, heart, soul. And it is a multidimensional awareness as well that is there available for us to claim and to invite it to emerge in us, rather than to push it aside and give it all away to something outside of us that promises to do it better for us. So in a moment, I'm going to guide you through an opportunity to just nourish yourself today. Maybe what I've been sharing with you is completely brand new for you. Maybe for some of you, you're more than familiar and well broached in it. And it's just a nice little, share to reaffirm your inner sense of things. Or maybe I've shared something in a way that has tweaked something that you've been reflecting on. I know we're better together when I listen to other people share. I receive so much amplification of my own aha moments, and it's wonderful to see ourselves in all these soul mirrors around ourselves. And this goes back to, again, noticing what we're noticing. If we're looking into mirrors, soul mirrors that help us to expand and clarify and calm down and trust and relax into that deeper knowing of our truth and what we came here for, that encourage us to trust what wants to express and create through us, that is a sign that we are really allowing the expansion. And it's okay too, because I, like all of you, have had moments where I thought the mosh pit was just for when I was back in high school going to a Nirvana concert. Wow. Even when I say that now, it makes me laugh because, what a way to chase Nirvana. It's such a fun metaphor to play with. Right now, it's really all about just giving yourself permission to play with all the moments that are around you. And I know this too as an artistic soul as well, because I see everything as fertilizer for the soul. And so there's a richness that comes from noticing what we're noticing. Now, if we do go into a moment where something feels a little maybe triggering or uncomfortable, the key, at least that I've been learning along the way, is to intend to go back into my heart again. And because when there are moments where we get too much into our heads or drop down into a little bit of fear, uncertainty, and we start to scare ourselves with our own thoughts, the safest place is in the heart, is to come back into the heart again, hands on heart, and just begin to appreciate this now moment exactly as it is, and breathe into it. And as we do that, a lot can shift without us having to do anything or make anything happen. See, when we're in our heads, what oftentimes will happen, at least I've noticed this along my way, is that we'll try to make something happen rather than creating this spaciousness in which it can emerge, in which it can just naturally happen. And this is why also another final piece that I want to share today, and this will make sense for the experience in a moment, is how important it is to pause along the way throughout your day and create some spaciousness in between all the frantic go, go, go. This is how we honor this inner emergence process inside of ourselves. This is how we cultivate calm and really invite more of it into our lives. So I haven't gone over to the chat, but I'm feeling guided to do that right now. This is all new for me. I feel like a little kid in a candy store. And oh my goodness, I'm looking at the chat here. Fatya, oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. You're amazing. Oh, wow. Yes, I am just trusting. I asked Spirit to guide me, and I'm just calling on inspired speech and guidance. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful soul. Oh my goodness. I feel so great to know that you're here. Okay. So, what I'm going to move into now is, as promised, is a sharing where I'm going to begin to guide you through an experience where you can just, little soul spa on a Sunday, where you can just soften into yourself right now and experience the beauty of who you are. So what I'm going to invite you to do, if you're not already in a place, if you're driving or something like that, please pull over to the side of the road and, but if it's safe to do so, I invite you to begin to close your eyes and begin to just focus on your breathing, hands on heart, feeling the warmth of your hands on your heart and the warmth of your heart on your hands. And then beginning to see, sense, or imagine way high above your head a beautiful golden liquid light. And it's beginning to pour all the way down into the crown of your head. And noticing as you breathe that you begin to breathe it in behind each of your eyes and then down along your throat, allowing it to coat your throat, pouring into the chalice in your heart, and then breathing that beautiful golden liquid light along your spine, down past your rib cage and your belly button, down to your sit bone, seeing every cell in your body illuminating with this beautiful golden liquid light, sparkling, twinkling. Breathing that in. And then sending that beautiful golden liquid light out along each of your legs, out through the soles of your feet, deep down into the crystalline core of Mother Earth, feeling anchored, rooted, safe and secure, held and supported and loved. Sending gratitude into Mother Earth as you send gratitude to Father Sky, feeling the connection between both. And then beginning to breathe that beautiful, unified, loving energy up, back from the crystalline core of Mother Earth, up to the soles of your feet, up along your legs, back up along your spine, into the chalice of your heart, and beginning to see that beautiful golden liquid light just overflowing from that chalice in your heart. And as it overflows, it brings your attention and awareness back into the area of your sit bone, your tailbone, your root chakra. And today, Spirit has guided and invited me to bring us back into these very human chakras. These first three chakras are going to offer you the sacred opportunity to stabilize the foundation for your chalice. Breathing in to your sit bone area, noticing what you're noticing. You may notice some stiffness, some tightness in your body, noticing your emotions, Noticing if there's any fear, doubt, or hesitancy that is surfacing, and noticing any thoughts. And I'm going to give you a moment to just sit and be with noticing what you're noticing. And if you feel guided to do so, you can keep your hands on your heart during this process. And now breathing your awareness up to your sacral center just beneath your belly button, and noticing what you're noticing there, noticing any physical sensations in this womb space, regardless of how you identify with gender, noticing any emotions that are coming up. Is there any guilt or any unforgiveness? Noticing any thoughts that are surfacing around being enough. And I invite you to participate in this now moment with yourself. And we'll begin. And now I invite you to breathe your awareness up to your solar plexus chakra, right beneath your rib cage. And again, noticing any physical sensations there. Is there any tension, any emotional spaces around, feeling anything at all? I'll just let you visit and play with it, and noticing any thoughts that are surfacing. And I'll give you a little bit of time to enjoy noticing what you're noticing. And with that, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart and send gratitude to all of you for being here now and for showing up for yourself with your loving, curious, open presence. Keep trusting that what is being shown to you is for your highest learning and highest expansion. And just trust that everything that you're noticing is in the right, perfect, divine timing for you to be able to take that awareness and channel it into something beautiful. With that, I'm going to close and thank all of you for being here today. It's been an honor and a pleasure to share this time with you. And I wish you infinite creative blessings this week and lots of love and light. And with that, I'm just going to close out, and I hope you'll join us again soon.